Stadia is often misunderstood and looked down upon for all the wrong reasons. Even a recent Amazon rumor shows why. See my Stadia Rant. Silly Amazon rumor shows how BAD Stadia is misunderstood. It's STO Daily. Let's talk about it. What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K of PNTS Network and the Stadia Dosage platform, welcoming you to another STO Daily. Can you do us a huge favor before we get into this one? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and rock those bells for notifications, please, so you know when we're dropping these doses. We appreciate all of y'all straight up. Y'all know the deal. You know the reason, and by now, y'all should know the slogan. What is it? We are not too proud to ask. And what you may want to do in the month of August 2022 is consider helping out the platform in that month with a super chat or a super thanks. If you do so, it'll enter you into a raffle to win a Google Stadia Premier Bundle, which includes a Google Chromecast CCU and a Stadia controller. And it also goes to make this a better platform for you. Okay, so let's get into today's story. All right. So there was a story that Bloomberg, I'm reading from Bloomberg here, and it says Electronic Arts gains on report Amazon readying takeover bid. And I think it reads as follows. It says Electronic Arts Inc. gained Friday after reports said that Amazon.com Inc. is preparing an offer to buy the U.S. video game publisher. According to a column in the USA Today, Amazon could announce as soon as Friday an offer to acquire the publisher of hit games Apex Legends, FIFA, and Madden titles. The report, if true, would accelerate Amazon's efforts to become a major player in the game industry. Now, there were some reports from CNBC and Market Watch and some other places where this has been debunked. People reached out to Amazon and they said, you know what is going on here? And Amazon said, we don't know. We don't know like what the heck you're talking about. So this rumor for the most part has been debunked, and the stocks went up as what I read from Bloomberg indicated, and then they immediately fell down after the truth was told. So it was a silly rumor, right? Silly rumor altogether. And it happens. And even the media acts on some of these silly rumors. It's not just the game media, even though I think the game media is more egregious when it comes to these things. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. Upon hearing this news, a lot of my gaming friends that like to debate me on why I still play Stadia and choose Stadia over dedicated device gaming, they hit me up. And some of them hit me up. Some of us been talking in DMs. Some made mentions in DMs. And I've even tried to take a nicer tone to some of the things that I've seen in DMs. Because normally when people make up stuff about Stadia and they don't know what they're talking about, I just lambaste them, right? Especially if I'm talking to other content creators, like we should know better and we should do better. Like you should know your facts, you know what we're talking about, regardless if you like the product or not. Like I'm not a big Nintendo fan. I know the basic stuff of what's going on with Nintendo's products, right? So even if you don't like Stadia, if you're going to talk about it and talk in such an absolute form, you should know what you're talking about because you could misinform people. That's the stance that I take, but I tried to be a little bit nicer now because people just seem so confused. And I'm trying to relate to their confusion. Like, these are people that I've played games with, or we've talked about games for a long extended amount of time, and they are just confused on why I like Stadia, right? So I asked, in one situation, someone had mentioned, a good friend of mine had mentioned that they felt like that Amazon was going to, this example wasn't as egregious as the other ones that I've heard or other conversations I've had, but they've said, this is going to put Luna above Stadia as far as, I guess, engagement, right? And then other people who just said, you know what, this is going to knock Stadia off the map. Like, you need to really give it up on Stadia. Even Luna would still suck, but Stadia, doesn't have any oxygen left in the room if this happened. So then I asked them in return, I said, okay, so if you think that Amazon getting EA automatically boosts up Luna, the cloud gaming service, because we got to remember that Amazon Game Studios and Luna are not synonymous. It's not like when Stadia bought SG&E or created SG&E, rather. SG&E was part of Stadia. That was Stadia's internal game development company. Amazon Studios, they're not part of Luna. They're two separate entities. So I asked, I said, so why do you think this would happen? Oh, well, because the EA games would go on Luna and they wouldn't be available for Stadia. Stadia would be losing its biggest contributor. So even if that scenario was true, FIFA 23 right now is the only EA game that's new, that's oncoming that we have. And yes, not having any further FIFA games would be a blow to Stadia. We've already gone through not having Madden, the new coming Madden 23, Stadia or EA opting not to place it on the platform this time. That's caused somewhat of a backlash, but as we talked about numbers and performance, it kind of makes sense on why Madden 23 isn't coming to Stadia and FIFA is. But that would be a blow, okay? That being said, FIFA, by all intents and purposes and things that I'm hearing, has made a fair amount of money on Stadia. Even though Stadia is part of a 1% cloud market in business, FIFA's done pretty well monetarily on Stadia. So again, if you have the entity, which is Amazon Game Studios, who's separate from Luna, and Amazon's about making the return on their investment, I would say at some point in time, exclusivity on the cloud would be an issue, but I don't think immediately. I don't think off the bat. I don't think immediately off the bat, especially if it's successful. If it's seeing some success on Stadia, that gives them some things to monitor as they decide if they're going to put it on Luna. And that's a segue to my second point when it comes to that argument. People need to pay attention. There is no, outside of Ubisoft, there is no day and date AAA effort, AAA, that Amazon is working or looking to acquire to put on Luna. That's just not part of the business model. And yes, they can create an EA channel, but they don't even have a channel they don't even put their own games on Luna. Luna, again, is part of a 1% business with all the cloud platforms. These are games that takes hundreds of millions of dollars to produce and market. Even Amazon refuses to put their own games on there because of that reality, which makes sense. Not now, not while the ceiling is so low. So if you have a situation where Amazon really relies on channels, and these are big ticket games that, again, are in the hundreds of millions of dollar mark, and you don't sell games a la carte, so there have to be in a channel, why are people expecting that if this silly rumor was true, that would automatically translate to what Luna's offering? I'm not saying it never will. Of course it will at some point in time, and it will be great for Luna. But off the bat, knowing the business model, knowing the decisions that have already been made, and knowing what Luna is and what it offers and what it doesn't offer, it just wouldn't make sense. So again, we gotta do some better research, guys and gals out here. I love you all like kids I ain't paid child support for. I love you, trust me. But y'all gotta do better research. Y'all gotta do better before you step to the kid, okay? Amazon Game Studios is different from Luna. Amazon Game Studios is all about maximum profit. They're not looking into the future and how to sprinkle a little bit of this and a little bit of that on Amazon Luna. Luna's its own separate entity. It's going to continue to do what it's doing, which I think is cool. And at some time, I think it's going to be a phenomenon. Even as a Stadia fan, I say that. But right now, to see these blockbuster games coming their day and date, meaning that they're going to be yanked from Stadia and all other stuff, I don't see that off the bat, even if this silly rumor was true. So it leads me to the second part of my video, which is really my rant. The second part is, my friends want me so bad. They want me so bad to abandon Stadia. And for the life of me, I just can't understand why. Now I get it. Stadia doesn't have every single game that releases, every single popular noted game that releases. It also doesn't have, output that is on par with a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X. I get that. But here's what it does do. It elevates the way that you engage with games in a way that makes you look back at dedicated device gaming. And even with all of those specialty bump ups with performance and polygons and compute units, you look back at that and you say, you know what? It's too cumbersome. It's too much friction. I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I truly don't want that. I want to be able to enjoy the games that I want to play where I want, how I want, with as less friction as possible. And I liken it to this experience. I don't know about you, but I love Italian food. Who doesn't love Italian food? So you got two Italian restaurants. One that's popular in the States is Olive Garden, and then there's another one. I can't think of. I think it's called the Italian Room or something. It's a Pennsylvania only store, I believe. It's called the Italian Room. I could be wrong about that. Don't put any money on that. Now, let's just say if the Italian oven, they didn't. Let's just say they had all your favorite Italian dishes and the stuff that people love to acclaim, and the salad is excellent and all the other stuff, the breadsticks and all that. But for years, Italian oven served you all this great Italian food, but they gave you no utensils. Everything you had to eat with your fingers. And so as we all know, Italian food, for the most part, is not finger food. I mean, the breadsticks, mozzarella sticks, maybe fried zucchini, but outside of that, it's kind of messy if you would eat it with your fingers. We ain't talking about chicken nuggets and french fries. But let's just say this new place, the Italian Room, they may not have as many dishes, right? And they may not have the endless salad. They got a very good salad over there. But you go over there and you get utensils. So you can eat there and eat like a modern day human with some type of utensils. You're not trying to eat chicken parmesan with your fingers, right? And no gloves. As silly as that scenario sounds, that's what cloud gaming is to me versus dedicated device game. I love that Italian oven has all that stuff, has all those menu items and the favorites. And I love them, they're tasty. But I feel restricted on how I engage with the food because they don't give me utensils. They don't make it convenient. Where cloud gaming is so convenient, it's just, you start it up. It's light on the resources. So if you do have a powerful machine that you're playing it on, you can crank things up and people wouldn't be the wiser. I've had people come to me and say, hey, while I was streaming, are you playing on PC? I'm like, no, I'm playing on Stadia. They're like, what? And for some reason, my Xbox people leave, but that's another video. We'll get to that some other time. But when I do dedicated device gaming, it's so restrictive because I need specific hardware to do it. I can't lug that hardware with it. So if I'm sitting in a car and we're in a long drive and I want to get in a game of Madden, if there's a global event in Division 2 and I want to get some star points to get me some exotic caches and some death weapons, some fly to death weapons, right? I can't do it because I'm not sitting at home in front of my console playing the game at the moment. And I hear a lot of people saying to themselves when I bring that scenario up, well, playing on the fly is, for dummies. You should live your life, right? You're a loser if you got a game on the fly. Well, aren't you on Twitter? 24, like the majority of the people that I'm talking to about this, we met on Twitter. So just like me, you're sitting there scrolling through Twitter looking at people lying about stuff and just silly, dramatic conversations. Excuse me if I'd rather use that time to play a game, to do something fun, positive and reinforcing, and play a game and have fun with my friends instead of looking at gossip and people screaming, yell at each other over games. Excuse me if I'd rather play. So I don't want to hear that crap about, oh, you're a loser if you're playing games on the go, like, me being on my phone is such an egregious thing. Meanwhile, you guys are scrolling through Twitter 24/7, just getting into argument. So that's silly. So at the end of the day, I get why a lot of people may not want to take the plunge or may not want to add it to their portfolio. You ain't got to be like me and make it your number one way to game. I get where people may not want to do that, but at the same time, there's got to be enough understanding and common sense out there for those that, hey, look, if I'm an adult with a family, active with my family, and I don't have several hours every day to sit in front of a console in my office. I would love it, but I can't do it. Got too much responsibility. I can get some time in on the go. What's wrong with that? May not be for you. But again, there doesn't have to be a billion carbon copies of you in order for your way to be legitimate as well. So I'm just hoping we get off our high horse. We stop acting silly when it comes to this stuff. And we don't try to pick every single thing to be the death of Stadia just because we don't understand it. Look, I got an open door policy. I'm willing to educate. If people were to come to me and just ask questions like how some people did today, which I appreciated and really prompted me to create this video. But instead of trying to debate, be willing to be educated. If you approach me in that fashion, you might get some material that'll help you understand. You may come away from it and say, okay, that's not for me, but I get it. This is fly, this is dope, and this is a great attribution to gaming, opposed to you just sitting there acting like someone smacked you in the back of the face with a ball of horseradish and the inside of your skin is burned. I don't get the reactions to a lot of this stuff, but again, silly is silly. With that said, that's it from your boy. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below, because like I always say, who cares what I think? But if you did like what I had to say, check out the links below to follow me. Those links will lead you to the Broadband Bullies, PNTS Network, Hard Knock Digital Culture, and yes, here at the Stadia Dosage. With all that said, peace. Have a wonderful gaming day.